My stepmother demanded I pay rent while her kids lived free. Later, she tried to convince my dad to kick me out, so I revealed who really owned the house and served them eviction papers. I lost my mom when I was 8. It was awful, obviously, but we managed. My dad was completely destroyed, though, like he could barely function for the first year. My mom's parents, absolute saints by the way, stepped up big time. They basically moved in with us to help take care of me while my dad worked through his grief and tried to keep his business running. Quick note about the house situation because it is super important later. My grandparents were pretty well off, not extremely rich or anything, but comfortable enough to buy this huge 4-bedroom house in one of the nicer neighborhoods near Boston. The idea was that we would all live together so they could help raise me properly. It worked great for a while, to be honest, but then my dad met Karen, not her real name, but it fits her perfectly, LMAO, at some business conference in Chicago about 2 years after Mom died. He was there trying to expand his consulting business or whatever, and she was working as an event coordinator. According to him, they just clicked. I guess Karen saw her chance with a grieving widower who owned his own business because she literally moved across the country to be with him after only knowing each other for like 3 months. And surprise, surprise, they got married within 6 months of meeting. Talk about red flags. Here is where it gets interesting. Karen brought her 2 kids with her. Tyler, 25 male, now was 11 at the time and already a spoiled brat. And Ashley, 21 female, now was 7. And honestly was not too bad at first, but Karen turned her into a mini clone of herself over the years. My grandparents tried to be nice about it, they really did. But I remember overhearing them talking late at night about how they did not trust Karen. They thought she was just after Dad's money. Plot twist, they were right, but they kept quiet for Dad's sake because he seemed happy for the first time since Mom died. The first few years were rough. Karen started small with her nonsense little comments about how the house was decorated in an old-fashioned way. It was not how the kitchen needed updating, it did not, and how my grandparents were set in their ways, they were not. But then she got bolder. She started rearranging furniture without asking, threw out some of Mom's old decorations claiming they were collecting dust, and slowly started taking over the house. My grandparents were too polite to say anything, and Dad was too blinded by love to notice. Then the chores started. At first it seemed normal, everyone should help around the house, right? Except everyone turned into just me. Tyler was too busy with sports, he was not even good at basketball, but Karen made Dad pay for private coaching anyway. Ashley was too young even though she was only a year younger than me. By the time I was 12, I was doing most of the cooking and cleaning. Karen would literally check the baseboards with her finger to see if I dusted properly. Meanwhile, Tyler's room smelled like a combination of body spray and old pizza, and Ashley's floor was permanently covered in clothes she was about to put away. Here is the really important part that I did not know until recently. Before my grandparents passed away, Grandma, in 2019 from heart problems, Grandpa followed barely 3 months later because he could not live without her. They put the house in my name. Legally, it is mine, all mine. They must have seen this drama coming from a mile away and wanted to protect me, but I did not know about it. No one told me. Dad knew, but I guess he did not think it was important to mention. Spoiler alert, it was very important. Karen obviously had no clue either, or she would have tried to get her name on the deed somehow. So for the past few years, I have basically been living as a servant in my own house, cooking, cleaning, doing everyone's laundry, yes, even Tyler's disgusting gym clothes, while Karen sat around watching reality TV and complaining about how I loaded the dishwasher wrong. Tyler graduated college 2 years ago, barely pretty sure Dad paid someone off to be honest, and has not worked a single day since. He claims he is trying to be a content creator, but his social media has like 200 followers, and it is all just him doing those awkward dance trends badly. Ashley is in her 3rd year of college, supposedly studying business, but really just partying and posting aesthetic photos of her coffee. Dad pays for everything: her apartment near campus, which she barely uses because she is always at home, her car, which she has crashed twice, her credit cards, which she maxes out monthly. And there I was working part-time while taking online classes, doing all the housework, and trying to save up money because Karen kept hinting that I needed to start contributing to the household. The day everything went down started like any other exhausting day in my house. I had just finished an 8-hour shift, some customer yelled at me about almond milk, but that is another story, and I was exhausted, but of course I still had to come home and cook dinner because heaven forbid Tyler moves from his gaming chair or Ashley puts down her phone. I am in the kitchen making this pasta recipe I found online. Not gonna lie, it actually tastes really good. And Karen comes walking in wearing one of her supposedly designer outfits. Pretty sure it is from a discount store, but whatever. She has this look on her face, you know, the one like when a teacher catches you passing notes in class? Yeah, that one. She sits down at the kitchen island, watching me cook like a hawk. I am already on edge because she always finds something to criticize about my cooking. Last week, it was too much garlic, literally impossible by the way. The week before, it was too spicy. It was literally Alfredo sauce. Then she drops this on me. We need to have a serious discussion about your living situation. I am like, what living situation? I have been here longer than you. But she continues. Your father and I have been talking and we think it is time you start paying rent. After all, you are working now and it is not fair for you to live here for free while we cover all the expenses. The audacity of this woman. I am literally standing there, wooden spoon in hand sauce, probably burning just trying to process this nonsense. Meanwhile, I can hear Tyler upstairs yelling about his game and Ashley's videos are blasting from the living room. So I ask her, trying to keep my voice level, because I am annoyed, but not stupid. What about Tyler and Ashley? Are they paying rent too? She does this thing where she dabs her mouth with a napkin, even though she has not eaten anything, like she is copying those reality shows. Then she says, well, that is different. They are my children, and they are still getting established in life. Tyler is working on his content creation career, and Ashley is focused on her studies. I almost laughed out loud. Tyler's career is posting videos no one watches, and Ashley has not opened a textbook in forever. But then Karen starts laying out her reasonable rent requirements, $800 a month plus utilities. Plus, I would still be expected to help out around the house, meaning continue being their maid. I am standing there stirring this sauce and something in me just snaps. You know that moment where everything suddenly becomes clear? It was like that. All these years of being treated like a servant, all the comments, all the chores, all the times I had to clean up after them, it all hit me at once. So I turn off the stove, put down the spoon, and look Karen straight in the face. Let me get this straight, I say, my voice weirdly calm. Tyler, who has not earned a single dollar since graduation and spends his days yelling at people online, does not have to pay rent. Ashley, who maxes out her credit cards and has never touched a vacuum, does not have to pay rent. But I do. Karen's face twitches like she is trying to stay in control. She starts going on about how I am more established and how family helps family and some other nonsense she probably read online. That is when I decided to drop my own bomb. But first, I called everyone to the dining room. I told Karen I wanted to discuss this as a family, using her own tactics against her. Tyler complained about leaving his game, and Ashley acted like getting up was the hardest thing in the world. But eventually, everyone sat down at the table. The pasta was cold by this point, but I did not care. I had lost my appetite anyway. Karen starts explaining her proposal, acting all official, like she is in charge. Tyler is smirking, probably thinking about how he will not have to worry about money, and Ashley is recording everything because she loves drama. And that is when I said it, the words that changed everything. I am not paying rent because this house belongs to me. The silence that followed was unreal. It was like no one could even understand what I had just said. Tyler stopped mid-bite. Ashley just stared and Karen looked completely frozen, like her brain had stopped working. Then they all started laughing like it was some kind of joke. Tyler made some comment. Ashley grabbed her phone and Karen tried to laugh too, but I could see the panic starting to creep in. What are you talking about? She said, trying to sound confident, but her voice was shaking. This house is mine and your father's. I leaned back in my chair as calm as I could be and said, why do not you call Dad and ask him? Karen's fake nails start tapping on her phone screen so fast I thought she might crack it. Kind of wished she would, because guess who would have to go get it fixed? She puts it on speaker because of course she does. She loves an audience when she thinks she is about to win an argument. The phone rings a few times and then Dad picks up. He sounds tired, probably because he is actually working while his stepson is building his brand or whatever. Karen's voice is all sweet and fake, like when she is trying to get an upgrade at a hotel. Ruby is telling some interesting stories about the house. She says it belongs to her. That is not true, right? The silence that followed was deafening. You could literally hear my dad doing that thing where he clears his throat when he is uncomfortable. He does it a lot around Karen. Then finally, well, actually my in-laws put the house in Ruby's name before they passed away. Karen's face went through more colors than my old mood ring from Claire's first red, then white, then this weird greenish color I have never seen on a human before. What do you mean they put it in her name? She practically screeched. When were you going to tell me this? I didn't think it was important, my dad says weakly. Typical dad move, to be honest. Not important. Karen is standing up now, her chair scraping against the floor. You didn't think it was important to tell me that your teenage daughter owns our house? She hangs up on him mid-sentence. The phone hits the table so hard I thought the screen would crack again, kind of hoped it would. Tyler is not laughing anymore, actually. He is looking pretty pale, probably realizing that all those times he told me to get out of his game room It was actually my game room. Ashley is still recording, but now she has got this deer-in-headlights look. I can practically see the videos being deleted in her mind. Karen is breathing like she just ran a marathon in her fake designer shoes. She is trying to compose herself, but I can see her hands shaking. Well, she says attempting to sound calm but failing hard, this has clearly been a misunderstanding. Of course, you do not have to pay rent, Ruby. Let us just forget this conversation happened. But here is the thing I did not want to forget. I was done forgetting all the nonsense they had put me through over the years, done being the family doormat, done watching them live, rent-free, in my house, while treating me like their personal maid. So I just smiled and said, "Oh, we are definitely not forgetting this conversation. In fact," I paused for dramatic effect. "What can I say I have learned from the best? I think it is time we had a serious discussion about your living situation." The look of pure terror on Karen's face was better than any present I have ever gotten. But wait, it gets even better because while they are all sitting there processing their new reality, I can hear Karen's phone buzzing with texts from my dad. She is ignoring it, but I know exactly what is happening. He is probably panic texting her about all the legal documents my grandparents left, the ones that prove everything I just said. Alright, so after that nuclear dinner scene, I went to bed feeling pretty good about myself. Like, you know that feeling when you finally stand up to your high school bully, multiply that by 1,000. And that is how I felt. But Karen? Oh no, she was not done, not by a long shot. So next morning, I am about to head downstairs for breakfast when I hear Karen's voice coming from the kitchen. She is on the phone with my dad on speaker because, of course, and guess what she is doing? She is literally trying to convince my dad to get me to move out of my own house. Here is the conversation I overheard, and yes, I recorded it on my phone, because at this point, I trust these people about as far as I can throw them. Karen says, "David, you need to do something about this situation. Your daughter is becoming a problem." Dad, sounding tired, says, "What do you want me to do?" Karen says. "What about those out-of-state colleges she applied to? You could encourage her to go to one of them, tell her it would be good for her independence." The audacity of this woman, she is really out here trying to ship me off to another state so she can keep living in my house rent-free. But wait, it gets better. Dad says, "I do not know Karen." Karen uses that syrupy sweet voice she uses when she is manipulating someone and says, "Think about it, David. She is young, she needs to experience life away from home, and honestly," dramatic pause, "I am worried about her mental health. All this anger she is carrying around it is not healthy. Excuse me. The only thing affecting my mental health is living with the evil stepmother from every story combined." But here is the part that really got me. Dad says, "Maybe you are right. I will talk to her about moving out for college. It might be better for everyone." I literally had to bite my fist to keep from screaming. My own dad, who I have lived with my whole life, who I took care of after mom died, who I cooked for and cleaned for, just agreed to try to kick me out of my own house. So I did what any rational person would do. I walked into that kitchen like I had not heard a thing. Karen almost dropped her phone when she saw me. She was still in her silk robe, probably fake like everything else about her, holding her world's best mom coffee mug. Tyler and Ashley got her from the dollar store last Mother's Day, and she acts like it is fine china. "Good morning, sweetie," she chirps, like she was not just plotting to get rid of me. I made coffee. First of all, she did not make coffee, she put a capsule in the machine I bought with my own money. Second of all, sweetie, since when Tyler stumbles in looking like a zombie, probably up all night streaming to his 3 viewers, and Ashley follows shortly after, already fully camera ready. Takes her 2 hours every morning. I am not even exaggerating. We are all sitting there eating breakfast, which I made, by the way. Karen does not know how to cook anything that does not come from a microwave, and the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Tyler is shoveling cereal into his mouth while scrolling through his phone. Ashley is taking pictures of her untouched avocado toast, and Karen is pretending to read emails, but I can see she is actually searching how to evict someone who owns your house, not very subtle. That is when I decided to have some fun. "Hey Karen," I say super casual. "I was thinking about what you said yesterday about rent." She perks up like she thinks I'm about to back down. "I think you are right. People should pay rent to live here." The look of relief on her face lasts about 2 seconds before I drop it. "So I have been doing some calculations based on market rates in our area. I think $1,200 per person is fair. That is $3,600 for you, Tyler and Ashley. Of course, that does not include utilities. Oh, and there will be a security deposit." Chaos, absolute chaos. Tyler actually chokes on his cereal. Ashley's toast falls face down on her shirt, and Karen looks like she is about to pass out. You cannot be serious, she sputters. We are family. Oh, I am completely serious. And since you brought up family, I pull out my phone where I have the recording of her conversation with Dad. Ready, let us talk about your little plan to ship me off to college. The color drains from her face so fast I thought she was going to faint. Tyler and Ashley are looking between us like they are watching a tennis match. So after I played that recording of Karen's phone call, things got wild, like talk show level wild. Karen jumps up from her chair so fast she knocks over her precious world's best mom mug. Sadly, it did not break. She is doing this weird thing with her face where she is trying to look angry, but her cosmetic work is fighting back, and honestly, it is kind of hilarious. You recorded me, she screeches. That is illegal. I just smile and say, actually, we live in a one-party consent state. I checked. Also my house, my rules. Tyler is just sitting there with his mouth open, milk dripping down his chin. I swear, this guy never learned how to eat properly. Ashley is frantically texting someone, probably her group chat, where she pretends to be rich and unbothered. Karen starts pacing around the kitchen, her knockoff slides making that annoying sound on the tile floor that I cleaned yesterday, by the way. She is muttering something about calling her lawyer cousin, you know, the one who claims to specialize in real estate law, but actually just handles minor cases in a small office. Then she tries a different approach. Suddenly, her voice gets all soft and concerned, like when she is trying to get a refund without a receipt. Ruby, sweetie, I know you are upset, but this behavior, it is not healthy. Your father and I are just trying to help you. Maybe some time away would be good for you. There is this lovely college in Michigan. I cut her off right there. Karen, let me make something very clear. I am not going anywhere. This is my house. The deed is in my name, and if anyone is going to be leaving, it will not be me. That is when she loses it completely. You ungrateful little... I am not going to repeat what she called me, but it was not very world's best mom of her. She starts going off about how she raised me like her own by making me their maid, how she sacrificed everything to be a good stepmom by shopping at discount stores instead of luxury ones, and how I am tearing this family apart. What family? Meanwhile, Tyler and Ashley are having their own meltdowns. Tyler is ranting about not paying rent and how he is about to become successful online, which is not happening. And Ashley is crying about how Dad will never let this happen, that he loves them more than this house. I just sit there sipping my coffee, watching them spiral like every bit of entitlement they have ever had is just spilling out. Then Karen pulls out her final move. She grabs her phone and starts calling my dad again, probably expecting him to rush home and fix everything like he usually does. But this time is different because I have already been texting him all morning, sending him the recording and explaining everything. For once in his life, he actually backs me up, kind of in his own weak way. When he answers, he is on speaker again. Karen says, David, you need to come home right now. Your daughter is out of control. Dad, sounding more firm than usual, says Karen, we need to respect that it is her house. Maybe we should start looking for a new place. The silence that follows is unbelievable. You can almost hear Tyler trying to process what just happened. Karen's face goes through shock, anger, disbelief, and finally fear, real fear, because it is finally hitting her that she is about to lose everything. That's when she makes her biggest mistake. She turns to me, gets right in my face, and says, listen here, you little bee. I don't care whose name is on the deed. This is my house. I've lived here for 12 years, and no spoiled brat is going to kick me out. I will make your life hell. Perfect, just perfect. Because guess what? I've been recording this whole conversation too. Not only that, but I had already talked to a lawyer, shout out to r/legal advice for the recommendations. Turns out threatening the legal owner of your residence isn't a great idea, who knew? Okay, so remember how I mentioned talking to a lawyer? Best decision ever. Turns out my grandparents didn't just put the house in my name. They set up this whole legal thing, trust estate, I don't know legal terms, that basically makes it impossible for anyone to contest it. My lawyer literally laughed when she saw Ken's legal threats in the texts I showed her. But let me back up a bit. The day after Karen's little meltdown, I went nuclear, served them all with real eviction papers, like official court documents and everything. The look on Karen's face when she got served, priceless. She actually tried to refuse to take the papers, but apparently that's not how it works, thanks Reddit. Tyler's reaction was exactly what you'd expect. He threw his gaming chair down the stairs and broke it below karma. Ashley had a full Instagram live meltdown, gained like 200 followers though, so congrats I guess. But Karen, oh man, Karen went full psycho. First she tried calling every lawyer in town, like literally every single one. But here's the thing about small town lawyers, they all know each other. And after the first couple told her she had no case, word got around. Even her DUI cousin wouldn't touch it. Then she tried the social media route, posted this long, dramatic Facebook status about how her ungrateful stepdaughter was trying to make her family homeless, but that backfired hard when one of my mom's old friends commented with receipts about how Karen had treated me over the years. Side note, shout out to my mom's friend Sarah, who's been keeping screenshots of Karen's BS for years, the hero we didn't know we needed. The best part, Karen's fancy friends from her country club started distancing themselves. Turns out, they don't like associating with someone who's about to be homeless. Funny how that works. Meanwhile, Tyler and Ashley are having their own crisis. Tyler finally realized that being a content creator isn't actually a job when you have 247 followers and your main content is raging at Fortnite. He tried applying for real jobs, but turns out professional gamer unofficial doesn't look great on a resume. Ashley's sorority friends found out about everything because she posted it all on her private story, but has like 200 followers. Now they're all gossiping about how her designer bags were probably fake and her dad isn't actually rich. She's having a full identity crisis. But the real drama that came when Karen tried her last desperate move. She waited until I was at work and tried to rearrange some things in the house. By rearrange, I mean she tried to take some of my mom's old jewelry that my grandparents had left for me. Unfortunately for her, I had already installed security cameras after the eviction notice again, thanks Reddit for the advice. Got her on video clear as day trying to stuff my mom's antique necklaces into her tacky Michael Kors bag. Called the cops, filed a report, showed them the footage. Y'all should have seen Karen trying to explain to the police officer why she was just moving jewelry that didn't belong to her. Her fake tears didn't work this time, probably because her mascara wasn't even running waterproof makeup really ruins the dramatic effect. The officer was this older lady who took one look at the situation and was not having it, especially when Karen tried to play the "but we're family" card. Officer ma'am, attempting to steal from the legal owner of this house isn't a family matter. I didn't press charges yet because honestly, having this on record for the eviction case is better. My lawyer was thrilled. Speaking of the eviction, remember how Karen always bragged about her investment accounts and how she was independently wealthy before meeting my dad? Yeah, turns out that was all BS. She has literally nowhere to go and she's freaking out. She tried calling my dad's sister for help, but my aunt, who never liked Karen, just sent her a link to apartment listings in the sketchy part of town. I actually felt bad for half a second, until I remembered the time Karen accidentally donated my mom's Christmas ornaments to Goodwill. The worst part, my dad finally grew a spine, kind of. He told Karen that if she doesn't leave peacefully, he's not going with her. Turns out, 12 years of her toxic BS was enough even for him. I will update you guys when they leave. Final update. So after the whole jewelry attempt, Karen knew she was screwed, but being Karen, she had to make the exit as dramatic as possible. The day before the final eviction deadline, she tries one last power play, calls this family meeting. Lo, what family, and comes strutting in wearing her fake Chanel suit, the one with the obvious wrong pattern that she swears is vintage. She's got this whole speech prepared about how she's choosing to leave because she can't stand the negativity or whatever. Karen starts this whole monologue about how she's taking the high road. Since when is being legally evicted taking the high road? Then she drops what she thinks is her trump card. Your father and I have decided to move to Florida. We just bought a beautiful house in Tampa, much nicer than this old place. First of all, they didn't buy anything. I literally saw her GoFundMe for family and crisis needs housing that got exactly $43 in donations, mostly from her MLM group. Second, my dad wasn't even there for this announcement because he was at a hotel. Turns out, watching your wife try to steal your dead wife's jewelry is kind of a mood killer, who knew? But here's where it gets good. While Karen's doing her fake, graceful exit speech, the moving guys I hired start showing up like right in the middle of her. This house was beneath me. Anyway, rant, there's these big dudes walking in with boxes and dollies. Karen's face does that weird frozen thing again. Botox plus rage equals comedy gold. She starts screaming about how she wasn't ready and needed more time to sort her belongings. The head mover guy, shout out to Mike, you're a real one, just looks at her and goes, "Ma'am, we have strict instructions. Everything gets packed and moved to your storage unit today. If you want your stuff, you'll need to take it up with the court." Y'all, she lost it full nuclear meltdown. Started grabbing random stuff, claiming it was family heirlooms, including my mom's ceramic bowl that she literally tried to throw away last year. Ashley's crying about her TikTok backdrop being ruined. Tyler's having a panic attack because he can't disconnect his gaming setup fast enough. But here's the best part. Remember that designer stuff? Karen was always bragging about the vintage bags and premium clothes. The movers start packing it up, and half the labels are literally falling off. While all this is happening, I'm just sitting on my couch, drinking my coffee in my house, watching them scramble. Posted a few updates to my private story, and suddenly all these people from high school are sliding into my DMs like, OMG, I always knew she was fake. Final inventory of what they tried to steal on their way out. 3 of my mom's necklaces caught on camera. My grandma's china set also on camera. The good coffee maker censored. I bought that with my Starbucks money. Every single towel in the house. Weird flex. But okay, the garage door opener, seriously. But you know what? They can have the towels. I already ordered new ones. Really nice ones that Karen would have said were too expensive while dropping $500 on her fake designer stuff. The actual eviction chef's kiss, perfect. They had to do the walkthrough with the sheriff's deputy present, standard procedure, but extra satisfying. Karen tried to claim I damaged her things during the move. The deputy just pointed to my security cameras and asked if she wanted to file a false report. She shut up real quick. So where are they now? Karen and my dad are staying at her sister's 2-bedroom apartment in the next town over. Apparently it's not going great. Her sister posted on Facebook about ungrateful house guests who don't do dishes. Tyler had to sell his gaming setup to pay for a deposit on a room in some sketchy house share. He's working at GameStop now, which honestly might be good for him. Ashley moved in with her sorority sisters, but that lasted about a week before they got sick of her crying. Now she's commuting 2 hours to college from her mom's sister's place. Her latest TikTok is about being humbled, but still getting ratioed in the comments. As for me, the house is so peaceful now, like weirdly peaceful. No more fake designer perfumes smell everywhere, no more passive-aggressive notes about loading the dishwasher correctly, no more 3 a.m. screaming from Tyler's gaming sessions. I turned his old room into my home office, already decorated it with actual designer stuff because I can afford it now that I'm not paying for their groceries. Ashley's room is becoming my dream closet, and Karen's meditation room, where she watched Real Housewives all day, is now my yoga studio. Dad calls sometimes he's staying with Karen for now, but honestly, he sounds tired. I think he's finally realizing what everyone else knew 12 years ago, that he married a gold digger who isn't even good at gold digging. Was I too harsh, maybe? Do I regret it? Nope. They censored around, they found out. Turns out karma doesn't care about your fake Gucci slides. Final update, my mom's best friend Sarah is renting one of the spare rooms now, so I'm not alone in this big house. She's teaching me all mom's old recipes and helping me replace everything Karen threw out over the years. Sometimes good things come from bad situations. Thanks for following this journey. Reddit, y'all really helped me stay strong through this. Especially the legal advice folks, you guys rock. Edit, holy crap, this really is the end. Thanks for all the support through this crazy journey, you guys are amazing. Edit 2, stop asking me to post the security camera footage, I'm not trying to get banned, lol. Final edit, yes, this is real, no, I won't prove it because privacy, and yes, I'm in therapy now.